Did my mouse failed me and did not play my song for me when I asked it to, but this is the Lowco Hoops Report. Justin Jarrett joined as always by Wes Kerr, talking hoops in the South Carolina Low Country, and it's bracket season. It's playoff time. We lost some tonight. There were some casualties. We'll pour some out for some homies later on who move on to spring season, but we'll also celebrate a couple of teams moving on to the next round. Bluffton Bobcat girls, as expected, cruising in the first round. You were over there in the den. You've got highlights. We've got Takoya Hayward in the green room, so we'll dive deep into that one. Hampton County boys also moving on. Big blowout win over Lake Marion. I ended up falling asleep trying to take a nap to rest up for the night shift. I woke up and it was dark and it was 6:44, and I did not know if it was AM or PM, but I did know that based on Lake Marion's record, it was going to be a blowout by the time I got to Estill. So I hung back at home. I'll save the gas money. I also saw gas prices way up this week. So, save the gas money for Friday when Hampton County takes on Mullins. Should be a great matchup there, but looking through the rest of the scores, nothing else good really to talk about from the Lowco perspective. But
although Battery Creek was impressive.
Yeah, it was. It'll be postmortem time for the rest of them. Hartsville beats Hilton Head High 52-20. Wilson beats May River. These are girls 65-12. And then in 1A, girls, Lakeview beat Whale Branch 73-13. So long road trips with longer road trips back for those guys. On the boys' side, Dillon blew out Beaufort 73-40. We'll check out the highlights from Beaufort's own in a little bit. As you mentioned, Battery Creek put up a heck of a fight on the road against Loris. They lost 63-57 to the number 8 team in Class 3A. So really solid effort there on the road. And then Ridgeland Hardyville, interesting game. They lost 59-49 to York Prep, texting with our guy Ponce Capers. And it was a 1-point game in the last minute. And to hear Ponce tell it, they started teeing up Ridgeland guys for stuff that York Prep was instigating, which is interesting. So, I mean, he's indicating like it's a video goes to the high school league type situation. So we'll see if anything comes of that, but it sounds like maybe not a great situation up there in Rock Hill. So, but anyway, you were over in the den and our girl Takoya Hayward, I'm assuming, put on a show. So let's welcome her in and talk Bobcat basketball. You ready, Koya? Koya is holding court over there on the other end, but we'll get her in here. What's up, Koya? What is going on, girl? I saw you talking to somebody. I was trying to give you time to wrap it up.
I was talking to my mom.
Just Miss Kenya in the background. Hi, Miss Kenya.
Yes, in the back.
But big win for the Bobcats tonight, taking care of business against Richland Northeast. But did I see in the highlights, is Maddie hurt again?
Yes, Maddie is out for the rest of the season with ankle fracture. She's in a boot and on one of those little push roller things.
That's what I saw in Wes's highlights here, that she's on the little scooter again.
She hurt her ankle in the final minute or so or seconds of the James Island game. So yeah, she's out for the rest of the season. I think she got a cast on today or yesterday. So yeah.
That's unfortunate, but you guys took care of business tonight, ran it up big in the first half, and then just kind of coasted. So how are you guys feeling about it despite being down, one of your fellow senior leaders? Feeling good about this run?
I mean, based on how we played today, I feel like our run is about to be good. We just got to keep going. We have a game Friday versus North Myrtle Beach. I mean, I got the film on them, so we're watching that now. But as long as we play Bobcat basketball and keep doing what we're doing, then we'll be all right.
You guys were on form tonight, and you had a couple of shots from the outside. Myra came up big, especially that we'll see in a moment, that block right there early on the game, and then came up with a huge 3-step back right before the buzzer the second quarter. But just tell me about how you were feeling out there shooting the basketball and how Myra played tonight.
We played May River Friday, so I had a pretty bad game on Friday because I had hyperextended my knee. So The real struggle tonight was worrying about how much my knee was gonna hold up because it was swollen the whole weekend, barely able to bend it. So for me to come out and play tonight and score 29, I mean, I was happy. I just had to bring the energy because we started off kind of dead, but as soon as we brought the energy and I realized that I can run and help my teammates, it was over with by then.
Yeah, you guys were up 36-6 at halftime. So came out with authority tonight. You mentioned North Myrtle Beach, and the second round has kind of been a tough spot for you guys in years past. So what do you do to prepare yourself for Friday, and maybe more importantly to prepare some of your younger teammates who are now in key roles that maybe haven't been there before?
I mean, it's just about our preparation and practice. I mean, our coach got the film out from North Myrtle Beach playing Irmo tonight, so we
Look
all
at
got to
this.
watch that, give our scout reports, and we're just gonna come in tomorrow, give our scout report, work on whatever we need to work on, and practice the next 2 days, and then Friday we got to execute whatever the game plan is.
Right back to work as you continue that push further on in the bracket. But it's always nice to have these playoff games at home. That's what you work for in the regular season, to be able to earn these home playoff games. So just tell me about how important it is to be able to continue that run here in front of your home fans.
Um, I mean, it's really everything to us because we're a team that we have to play with energy or have to have an energized environment for us to thrive at times. So for us to have home games or consecutive home games, if we keep winning, to have our cheerleaders and our home crowd, it'll do wonders for us. It'll keep the energy, keep us motivated. It'll just bring a lot of stuff that we weren't gonna get on the road.
Right. You since we last had you on the show, you made the big commitment, the big announcement. You're gonna stay in state, but not that close to home. You're going to Claflin. Tell us more about that decision and what you're excited about it up in Orangeburg.
I'm just excited about the whole overall atmosphere. I mean, I've been building bonds with the coaches since August. The assistant coach, shout out to Coach Mike. He calls me at least twice a week. He texts me all the time, make sure I get all my stuff in, make sure I'm doing all right as a person. He asks me about my games. We talk about basketball. That's really why I chose them because of how much they cared. They don't know me from a can of paint, but they're trying to, get to know me, and they actually make me feel like they want me at the school. And on top of that, I'm getting all the works, the perks. Academics played a big role in that. So I just felt like it was a great fit for me.
I totally agree. I think it's an outstanding decision and going to work really well for your basketball and your academic career. Tell me more about that side of things. Of course, you're continuing to play basketball, but what are you interested in studying at the college level? And just tell me about the significance of going to study at a historically Black university.
Um, my major is going to be criminology/criminal justice, and my minor is going to be psychology because I want to be a criminal defense lawyer. So I'm going there. I'm in the honors dorm, got the best perks. I'm going to take the most rigorous and challenging classes. Same thing I've been doing in high school. Just going to keep it going. And, just my academic comes first. So as long as my academics are going and being good, then I'll be fine.
I love it. Awesome stuff. Well, looking at the bracket updated, I got our beautiful brackets updated. So we got North Myrtle Beach coming in next, and then Hartsville took down Hilton Head. Ridgeview beat Myrtle Beach. So I mean that was expected in that little pod. How about James Island and Lucy Beckham both picking up dubs? That was solid. You've got AC Flora and Wilson also up in that half of the bracket. So going to have a tough run through there, but it continues on Friday against North Myrtle Beach. You got any homework you got to get on top of? Oh, you looking at the bracket?
Oh, so if we win Friday, we play the winner out of Hartsville and Ridgeview.
Yeah. That's gonna
Okay.
be a battle right there. That's gonna be a battle. Yeah.
Okay.
It gets intense fast in this bracket. So
Go This
North.
is what you play for. I mean, just describe the emotion, the excitement of being at this point, senior year playoffs, and leaving it all out there and playing your best basketball. Just describe what you're feeling, the emotions at this, pinnacle time of your high school career.
Um, it's I don't even know how to describe it. Like based on how last year and the years before have gone, and like how this year I've been way more aggressive, averaging more, like then not even just points wise. Like all my stats are way better than they were in the previous years, and just the energy about this team is just something different about this year that really has made me want to stick with them and just play. So I don't know. I just feel it's something different about this year. Maybe it's just because it's my senior year, and I know like
Yeah.
after this is it's over for being a Bobcat. But like this year is just different, and I feel like the goal at the beginning of the year was just to get past where we've been, but right now, like the goal is just to get to the state championship. I'm not gonna say just to get there, but to get there and get there with no injuries, nobody fouling out, no unnecessarily close games. Just get there, get to the state championship, and just play Bobcat basketball.
Leave it all out there. Well, I mean, I think probably one of the things that's really difficult is just knowing, like, this first time, as many games as you played, this is the only time tonight that you've known it might be the last one. Like when the game starts, it might be the last one, and that's a weird feeling. I mean, that's kind of hard to reckon with, and I think the thing about the state getting to the state championship is like you would know win or lose that was going to be the last one. There would be that that expectation and that finality. But I think the unexpectedness of the nature of like it can end just like this, and you weren't prepared for it. I think that's what probably is that's thing that's a little bit different this year. It's like
Yeah,
there's
that's
just a little extra fuel,
Yeah, that's what's gonna get me when I see the clock running down and I realize like, dang, this is my last high school basketball game. Like I turned in my uniform the next day, like, yeah, that's gonna get me.
Yeah.
I'm not a softie, but man, I'm just looking.
I'm
I
a
already
little bit of
know
a softie.
I'm
I'm
gonna
a
look
little bit of a
around
softie.
and I'll be like, dang, I've been a Bobcat since I was like 12, 13 years old, and now it's all over. Like, uh,
Indeed,
whew.
indeed. It's drawing near, but you guys still have work to do Friday night against North Myrtle Beach in the Den. Do we know what time you guys will tip off yet? No,
Probably still six
probably not.
o'clock.
6 o'clock. All right. Well, we'll keep you posted, folks. And Koya, get some rest and get those Bobcats ready for Friday night.
Will do. Thank you for having me.
Appreciate you. Take care. Sequoia Hayward, Bluffton Bobcats, terrific kid. I mean, just every time we talk to her, it gets better, right? Like she's just awesome.
Yeah, that's what we love about what we do is not only are we celebrating these kids and young men and women on the court on the field, but we're also preparing them to conduct interviews, and that's some of the skill that you need in terms of finding a career after school and just continue in athletics. That's a key skill that you want to have if you want to progress further, because they're gonna stick microphones in front of you, and you're gonna
Oh yeah.
gotta learn how to speak to media. So it's an important skill to pick up. So and she's done it really well. And just to see, we've talked about before how she's grown, just conducting these interviews and being a part of them. And from her younger days, the freshman, and just even like a year or two ago, she's grown so much in that area on the court and in terms of just those post game and other interviews. So I'm really proud of her for that, and just her leadership and her success out there on the court. No matter what happens the rest of the way, she has cemented herself as one of the best to come through this program, and certainly a lot to be excited for at the next level. But man, tough, really tough to see the injured Maddie Washington and what she provides as post players, a defender. That is a potential enormous loss, especially when the games get tougher in the playoffs. To have that rebounder, someone you can rely upon to get some stops. And now you're really going to have to mix and match because you don't have much depth on this team. And especially in terms of size, it's really hard to replace someone like a Maddie Washington. So you're going to see more of players like Tamara Bolden, potentially Emma Kate McMahon. And
seen a lot more of her lately.
Yeah,
McMahon's played well though. She's really played well. The young kids have stepped up. Tamara and Emma Kate in particular, and they understand their role. Like they know what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to feed it. When they get it, they're supposed to feed it to Amira and Takoya and Jelena in the right spots. And I saw a lot of that in the highlights tonight. They're just recognizing like she's got position. I'm going to get her a bounce pass and doing the right things, making the right decisions. And that's all they really need them to do.
Right.
And they'll be
Good
okay.
job.
But you're right. I mean, Maddie's a big loss because when you had Maddie Angelina in there, it was going to be a matchup problem for a lot of people because if they only had one solid big, then the other one was going to give them a lot of trouble on the boards and in the post. But it makes it a little tougher on Jelena. But yeah, I still think they can make a good run. But that Ridgeview, if they get past North Myrtle Beach, that Ridgeview Hartsville game is going to be a really tough test. That'll be a good one. But let's shout out some sponsors and then shift gears and talk about some other games. The MVP sponsors of Lowco Sports, Megan Jarrett, the official realtor of Lowco Sports, and my wife, the queen bee of the Lowco Hive. She is with the Anchor Home Group of Keller Williams of the Low Country, so she would love to help you find your place in the Lowco and put down an anchor in the best place. It's a great time to get into the real estate market here in the Low Country with Megan Jarrett, the official realtor of Lowco Sports. Homegrown Home Inspections will make sure that home is built right and ready for you to move in. They're the official home inspectors of Lowco Sports, and Jan Lucas and his team are the best in the biz. They have an incredible level of expertise, and their customer service is second to none. So call on Homegrown Home Inspections for your home inspection needs. Mickelson Law Firm is the official real estate closing attorney of Lowco Sports and our original sponsor since 2017. Still with us. Love Ryan and Tiffany and the Mickle squad. So many kids. They're wonderful kids too. Got to see Grady try out for baseball this week. He's going to be another little stud. They got a bunch of little athletes over there, and they can help you with all your legal needs at Mickelson Law Firm. Hospice Care of the Low Country is the official hospice care of Lowco Sports and the only not-for-profit hospice care in Southern Beaufort County. Despite all the services they provide, they do it all on a nonprofit basis by raising all kinds of funds through great events like the Yacht Hop. The tickets are on sale for this year's Yacht Hop, and they are limited. So if you want to get on the yachts and enjoy all the great food and drink, you're going to have to get in there and get your tickets and support Hospice Care of the Low Country, where it's not about dying, it's about living. Those are our MVP sponsors, Wes. And Hampton County boys, we mentioned, rolled big tonight. I saw Ian got in at the end of the game and got a bucket. So you always know it's a good night when you win big enough to get Ian in there. Yeah. And the guys from Lake Marion, they played along. They rebounded for him a couple times. And I saw that he missed the first one. Guy got the rebound, gave it back to him. And he was like, thanks, man. Put it back up. So it's all good over in Estill.
Yeah, that's the way you want to start, especially when you get to a big advantage as that, to be able to let Ian play a little bit at the end, which makes it even more special and fun for especially the winning team. But cool for Lake Marion to be a part of that and to have your season end with a feel good moment. You certainly don't want to lose by that much, but it's good to be a part of something like that. It makes everybody cheer up. But great for Ian, great for Hampton County. They're on a roll, picking up where they left off after that tremendous run through the region. And this Mullins team is going to be, a stiffer challenge. But I just think the way that they're playing and what they've shown these last few weeks, Hampton put together like we've been seeing, it's going to be tough to take them down on their home court. So Hurricanes are looking, scary. I think they're, right there at the top of 2A of teams who are, have the tools within them to take it the distance. So couldn't have asked any more from this first round win from the Canes.
No, you really couldn't. It was just what they needed. They were up big early. They cruised, took care of business. Didn't expend a whole lot of energy, and they've got a lot of depth, so they can. I think they're equipped for a solid run here. Now this Mullins game is going to be tough, and they've had a rivalry with Mullins. I think our guy Kyle Gibbs said it's the third year in a row they've seen each other in the playoffs. So that's going to be a hot one in Estill on Friday night. Definitely looking forward to that. I am planning to make the trip out there Friday night. I didn't make it tonight, but I think it was just as well because it was pretty lopsided early on. So I did check in on our girl Sharina Collins' Facebook Live feed. Appreciate her. But the bracket shaping up, like we expected so far. If they get past Mullins, they'll get either Andrew Jackson or Bishop England, and that will be at Estill. They're playing all the home games at Estill in the playoffs because the gym's bigger, the capacity is bigger. Oceanside and York Prep. York Prep with that controversial win over Richland Hardyville, I would say. Is the best we can do right now. Buford's Own watching tonight. He must have made it back from either that or he's driving back from Dillon. It was a kind of a beatdown up there. We'll watch the highlights here in a little bit. They're not really highlights for Buford, unfortunately. And then Marion and Woodland advancing in the bottom half of the bracket. I mean, you'd expect if Hampton can get out, it's probably Oceanside that gets out of there. Although Marion Oceanside could be a really, really interesting game. So that bracket's going to be fun to watch. I think all these second round games are
right. Once you get past that round,
that second round, you get some Donnybrooks in that second round now. I mean, I think all those shape up to be pretty good. I would think Oceanside probably is the only one that might kind of cruise. Maybe Andrew Jackson because they're pretty solid. But I mean, all those are pretty good matchups. So should be fun to watch that one unfold, to say the least. Let's check out the Buford's Own highlights. What do you say?
Let's do it.
Stop screen.
Eagles, but let's see how it went down.
Yeah. Still, we got highlights. We got to check those out, right?
Of course.
Here we go. And definitely support Buford's Own.
Shout out to them for all the work they did this basketball season. Continue to do.
I'm trying to get it to hold on.
Making the trip over to Dillon, which is a hike.
Yes, indeed it is. I'm trying to get it muted here. There we go. It's a big hike up to Dillon. I imagine Javon probably stopped at Buc-ee's though.
Yeah.
I know that was probably part of the decision-making process to make the trip.
Passing here by Dillon to start it off. Wildcats.
Buford's had a pretty good history with Dillon in a short time in 3A. They've had
the
football.
Lower State football game. Yep.
Yeah, but that rivalry will go away. Buford going back to 4A. Oh boy, 10-0 early. Never want to. I mean, that's so deflating. You go on the road and you get down early, man. That's
a killer.
It's hard to battle back. It's just so deflating, you know. I mean, you come in there, you're trying to be hyped up to play on the road.
Yeah, survive that first initial few minutes. And if you don't, then you're in trouble, especially against a good team. Ooh.
Disappointing crowd from the home squad.
Oh, lights out shooting from Dillon.
Yeah, hard to defend that.
Yep.
I mean, they're hitting some Curry-esque trays out there. Your boy from Davidson.
Yeah.
Speaking of your boy, check out a new episode of Under the Bus on the Lowco Media Network. They were on today talking Super Bowl, lots of college hoops.
Oh, Curry might not be happy with the Syracuse upset of.
Oh no, the Under the Bus text thread's been blowing up tonight. Blowing up. They're also speculating about whether Taylor Swift will be at the parade in Kansas City and whether Travis will be en route to Australia with her afterwards.
Well, I heard he's joined the tour today, but see what happens.
Is he gonna be on tambourine?
Yeah.
Standing next to her hitting the tambourine. Oh man, that'd be good.
On the spot for him. But, Buford trying to hang around here, but Dillon continues to fire from long range.
20. Oh my gosh, they're still not done. 29 in the first quarter.
Hey, wow, it's still the first. My goodness.
Yeah, these boys can get up and down the floor. Mari. This Buford team, I guess we kind of post-mortem them as we watch this. I think, the record isn't impressive, but I thought they exceeded my expectations. Certainly, I thought they got a lot out of what they had, and I thought some guys really developed.
Yeah, there's a lot to take forward into next year with who they're getting back from this group, and Samari Bonds and a couple of these guys have. I mean, it's a season of growth, but sometimes the season of growth will exceed expectations, and and that same philosophy, you can categorize it as disappointing just because that play better, and it just doesn't come to fruition as you hope it will. But you just look in the scope of you're losing a couple seniors, but you got a couple of
Yeah,
key
they
guys
lose
who
both
are
the
coming back.
bigs.
You know,
They lose the bigs, and that hurts because they
but
both developed really well this year. You wish you had them for
Buckley will
another
be
year,
back.
but and
Of course, yeah,
Samari and
Mari,
yeah, Naeem Pope really came on this year too, and he'll graduate.
yeah. So they lose a
But
couple
it's
guys.
good to see some of those seniors develop this year. And then they got the younger Ferris. I don't know how much he plays, and the younger Odom. So those guys are both athletes that'll give you something. So we'll see what we get out of those guys next year. But I'm sure their
Good
JV
season
also
for
has
Huff.
some
Huff did a
guys
good
coming.
job with it. Huff did a good job
Yeah,
with the group.
I think so. I think so. A little flat tonight, but 8 threes first.
Threes. Wow. Robertson had 5 of them.
Robertson.
Yes.
Whew. Yeah, so Dylan they're
Looking
pretty
like
legit. They're pretty legit. We don't have to worry about the 3A boys bracket anymore, but
nope.
Dylan Crestwood though in the next round, that's going to be
That'll be
buddy.
worth the mission.
Crestwood is number 1, I believe, right now. They're outstanding. So that'll be really fun. Really fun. But we won't really be following 3A anymore. Womp womp. So we're out on 2 brackets.
How many winners do we have tonight? Just 2?
Just 2, just Bluffton and Hampton. That's all that got out. Which those are the 2 that we're counting on to carry us for a while. Tomorrow night is another round of it, and it's not there's not a lot of sure things out there tomorrow night either. Buford and Waccamaw in 3A girls and Battery Creek at Dillon. Those are both top 10 teams. I don't think we win those. Hampton County girls have Timberland at home. That'll be a good matchup, but I think they can take care of that. Ridgeland Hardyville's at number 9 Chesterfield, so that's tough. On the boys' side, it's tough sledding, man. Colleton County's at home, but they got number 6 AC Flora. May River goes to South Florence, and then in 1A, Latta goes to Bridges Prep.
That'll be a good one.
That's a good first round matchup too. And then Whale Branch at Lamar. Those are both winnable, but they're both.
Man, that's I got duties at USCB, but it's going to be a fun atmosphere over at Bridges tomorrow night. So if you're able to make the trip over there and maybe get some video while you're there.
Yeah, we'll both be at USCB, but we'll definitely have friends in the house at Bridges Prep, and we'll see what we can't round up from over there because should be a good Donnybrook. Should be good. We'll shout out some more sponsors, and then I got some news. I got some all-state players to shout out. Just came out today. So first of all, the varsity sponsors of Lowco Sports, DDS Web Design, building, hosting, and maintaining websites for businesses and nonprofits that get results. So if you need to get found online so you can do more and think bigger, call on DDS at DDSHHI.com. That's DDSHHI.com. DDS Web Design. Parker Law Group serves legal needs across Colleton, Jasper, and Hampton counties, and they've jumped on board as a sponsor to help us continue to expand our coverage in those areas and shine a light on more deserving teams and student athletes around the Lowco. So thanks to Parker Law Group for their support. Dr. Ambrose Cole is my favorite chiropractor, and he's at Rooted Living Wellness. He can get you feeling right, mind, body, and spirit. So if you need to get cracked up, call on Dr. Ambrose Cole. Go over to Rooted Living Wellness and see him and all the great folks over there. And Reverence Wrestling Club is the official wrestling sponsor of Lowco Sports and presenting sponsor of the Lowco Grind. We'll have a new episode for you Sunday night talking about the Skeeza State Championships as well as the lower state qualifiers coming up this weekend for the high school league. So lots of wrestling talk getting toward medal season over there on the wrestling mat. So, but we do have some all-state players to shout out, Wes. Before we go any further, let me get them pulled up here. A couple of pleasant surprises, I would say, as far as Mykeem Gant from Colleton County making the 4A boys list, well deserved. But I wasn't expecting to see his name on there, so that was great. Kayvon Chisholm, of course, Hampton County. He's now all-state in football and basketball. North-South All-Star in football and basketball. Just what an athlete and what a kid. Headed to South Carolina State. 1A boys, Amarion Wilson in there. Great to see him in there. 1,000-point scorer, only a junior, so another year coming back at Bridges Prep. Takoya Hayward, of course, makes the All-State team in Class 4A. Well deserved. She's made it what?
4 years, at least
times?
4 years.
Four times she's made.
Yeah, I think she made it in 21 through 24. I'm pretty sure.
Holy cow! How about this? Lyric Jones making it from
that?
Hampton County into a. Love to see that. She is a star on the rise for sure. So those are your Lowco All-Staters and pretty good haul. Yeah, I wasn't sure Lyric would get the nod.
Some of those players you wouldn't expect to get in. Good for that. Good for Lyric. I mean, especially someone who has flown under the radar, even around here and putting up some really big numbers for the Cougars. And I got here in person, right for the holidays or somewhere around that time, and she was lighting it up from long range. A really fast, speedy player, and just really some good basketball sense, IQ, and fun young woman to watch out there on the court. And was really impressed by her game and what she's brought to this Colleton County team. And then
she reminds me a lot of Koya. No, you mean Hampton County. You said
Hampton,
Colleton, but you meant Hampton.
Yeah, Hampton.
She reminds me a lot of Koya. I mean the young guard, mature beyond her years already, but she's a little bit more social, a little more talkative than Koya was probably at that stage. But they have very similar personalities. They're both just kind of quiet leaders, go about their business. Wear their emotions out. I mean, they're intense competitors. And her game's probably a little more developed than Koya's was as a freshman too, I think. So, I think she's got a shot to really be special. She's part of that 27 group with H2 that's got some serious talent.
I mean,
PJ Benson and Amira Brown, and
it's like we piped up the 24 class so many years. Now they leave, they finish, they graduate.
Changing the guard,
get the shine. So it's kind of cool to see the transition.
It's the changing of the guard for sure. It's going to be fun to watch these girls go for the next few years. And I hope we have some guys talent coming up that I'm sure we do. I mean, I know the Hilton Head middle school teams have been exceptional the last couple of years. Bluffton Middle was really good last year. McCracken was better this year. So, I think we've got some talent coming, but I hope we're doing enough at the lower levels to develop it and get kids on a on a good foundation where they can really fly high. Because we definitely seen it with the girls. I mean, we got some girls going, and you're going to see it in the coming weeks with some signings. I mean, Devin Yard is going to go somewhere good. I don't know that it'll be D1, but it's going to be.
From what I saw on Twitter, she was named the Skeeza Player of the Year for 3A.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if that was statewide or region. It was unclear to me. I know she was named the Region Player of the Year, and in fact, I do have the full all-region list from the 3-team Skeeza 3A region. Devin, the Player of the Year, first team all-region, Courtney Campbell, Tamaya Hutchinson, Brady Mahoney, Morgan Scott, and Lily Termini. That's a pretty good lineup right there. Drops off a little with the second team, but still pretty strong. Casey Graves and Gracie Henderson from JP2, as well as Savannah Trott.
That's a 3-team region. That's
Macy Langhouse from Hilton Head Christian and Molly Lawrence from Hilton Head Prep. So
that's still a solid second team on a 3-team region. So a good depth there on some of those teams. And
Bobby Thompson, Coach of the Year. I thought he did a tremendous job this year. I thought it was way harder this year than it has been. And I thought they did a really good job with it. So I think he's growing into that role. I like him. I like watching him coach. I like the way he coaches. I've come to appreciate him a good bit. So I think he's handled this team this year really well. I mean, the other kids have, you kind of got to coach from the bottom up sometimes. And I think he's done a really good job of that, of bringing along the bench players, the role players, and they're contributing more now than they were early. They're so much more comfortable, on the ball and stuff, and understand where they need to be. So I've seen some good growth there, and I think they're gonna probably roll through the playoffs. But tomorrow night's gonna be fun too. We get to do it all again tomorrow night.
Yeah, that's the fun of
Playoff
it.
time, baby.
These first few rounds, it's a lot going on, and hopefully we can get to at least a couple teams to stay alive, and we get to keep talking about them into the weekend. I think looking at the schedule, Carleton County, that's a tough AC4 team, tough draw at home, but that's a group that has they've been together for a while. You have that senior mentality. You can't count them out. I think that's gonna be a really fun game over there at Carleton. Tough one for May River. It's going to be an uphill battle against South Florence. And then Bridges Prep, a lot of that's going to be, as we mentioned earlier, should be a lot of fun. Whale Branch, Lamar, always a challenge going on the road, those first-round matchups, and trading a little down as Whale Branch has been. Possibilities still there for the Warriors and for Jeremiah Faber's squad to pick up a road victory. So we'll see how they fare. And Bradford Thompson, is he going to be in action? How's he doing?
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't know what his status is as we look at that 1A boys bracket. It's going to be, every game's tough in the 1A bracket. That's the thing. Like I think for these guys, if you're not a 1 seed, every game's tough. So, again, I said this last night, I think, but Whale Branch, I could see them making it to the state championship game or losing in the first round. And I think I can say the same for Bridges. Like they're both quite capable of winning them all, but they're also quite capable of having an off night and getting bounced out, because you just don't, there's no margin for error at this point. You got to be locked in every night. So survive in advance. But certainly, I think Whale Branch's style of play in particular it lends itself to postseason because it's hard to prepare for in a short time, and it can just create so much chaos in an already elevated situation, right? Where you're already kind of tense and the nerves are going a little bit and you might be prone to mistakes. You can speed people's heart up real fast and get them messed up. And so, I could see them snowballing people. Bridges can do that a little bit too, but they're just not quite as organized about it, but they're a little bit better in the half court because of Marian. So, I think they're both quite capable of making deep runs, but you gotta play well every time out. 1A girls we're done with. Whale Branch got bounced out. 2A girls starting tomorrow night. Yeah, Hampton County, Ann Ridgeland, Hardyville. They're both in situations where round 2 is going to be really tough matchup if they get out of the first round. Hampton in particular having to go to Kingstree. Kingstree's very good. But, we'll see how they fare tomorrow night in Estill. I think they got a shot. Done with 3A boys. Both are gone. 3A girls, I think we'll probably be done with tomorrow night. And then the 4A boys tomorrow night, Carleton County, again, against AC4, number 6 team. They'll have a tough one in the second round, too, if they get out. May River, if they can get out of there, they've got a decent, potentially, matchup there. But
yeah,
still,
sometimes you see if, going just you look at the NCAA tournament and we have the 1 through 16, it's not the same because you have all these weird region stuff and it's not really, indicative of,
Right. Yeah.
But you just sometimes in a draw where you have, you're at that 11-6.
Never mind. Westwood's the number 2 team in the state, so never mind. May River's up against it.
Not the same, but that's how the high school league does it in 4A. But yeah, it's once you get into that second round, there's not going to really be any easy matchups. You're going to be tested, and we said that about 2A, and really goes the same throughout a lot of these different classifications.
Oh, yeah.
So. Well, yeah,
pretty much. Pretty much, because when you get to the second round, you've got 1s versus 2s, and that's pretty intense usually.
Yep.
Maybe you got a 3 that slipped in there, but nonetheless, it's going to be tough sledding at that
Going
point.
back
But
to Carlton, I think they can pull it off. I think it goes back to the way that this team has grown, and we've seen Keem Grant, Brian Hamilton grow so much as a
Nick
squad.
Williams.
Coaching is really melded well with those guys, and we've seen them perform a lot better than we expect to in this region. So it's an AC Florida team that's going to provide a tough challenge, but being at home and being a part of that environment and playing for your season on the line, I think that's going to push Carleton County to really find their highest possible gear out there. So I'm excited to see how they do, and would love for them to pick up a postseason win to cap off this journey, especially with all those guys finishing out their careers, and absolutely think they can pull it off. So wish them certainly the best of luck, including going as well as all these other teams. As I'm trying to say, but yeah, it's
keep
that
us
time.
going.
It's exciting, but it's always sad to see so many teams get knocked off on one night.
Right.
You play all year, and then you can all go away in a couple hours.
Just up in smoke, just like
that.
that. Well, the Lowco Booster Club helps keep us going here at Lowco Sports, so we got to shout them out. Court Lifestyle Pros, Hilton Head, Low Country natives, Daniel and Debbie Court, want to bring you home to Hilton Head Island with Charter One Realty, Court Lifestyle Pros, Revive Rehab, Women's Health, and Pelvic Floor Physical Therapy. Dr. Allie and Dr. Jen are the best in the area when it comes to that. They're bringing new services to the Low Country. So if you need any help with that, call on Revive Rehab. Eagle Creations, promotional items and custom apparel, as well as custom gift items or gift baskets over at Eagle Creations on Argent Boulevard. Go see Mandy and Bill. Jay's Barbershop is the place to be in Ridgeland, whether you need a haircut or not. Great place to hang out and hear some spicy conversation and check out some street tacos in downtown Ridgeland. Barefoot Floor Care of the Low Country. You can get your floors so clean, your feet will thank you. Chris Odom is the man when it comes to cleaning floors, and a big supporter of Lowco Sports. And Prime IV Hydration and Wellness. Go see Max and the team over in Belfair Town Village to get juiced up with all your vitamins and minerals. Looking ahead to the rest of the week, Wes, obviously we're obligated to catch some hoops in the Cove tomorrow night. USCV against Georgia College. Guys, I mean, both teams really need a dub.
Yeah, that's a very winnable game for both the squads, especially the guys' team. That's an important one where they're sitting in the standings. Every win is so valuable at this point, and it's been really fun to watch the journey that they've been on, and just the high energy and the offensive firepower that they play with. But this is the point of the season where it's crunch time. You're trying to pick up those victories to propel you in the standings, and obviously the expectations is, I mean, it's your first year, so there aren't, big ones. You're trying to find growth throughout the year, but I think getting into the tournament could be absolutely huge for Rockdale squad in that first year, and they have a great shot to do it, especially if they can take care of business. So, although it's certainly not guaranteed. By the way, this Peach Belt Conference has been set up. It is it's a war out there every night. Absolutely, it's
especially on the guys' side. The guys' teams are playing at a really high level. I think you got 3 or 4 teams in the top 25 right now, and they've been knocking each other out of the top 10 and out of the top 25 all year. It's like the SEC football of D2 basketball, but should be fun tomorrow night in the Cove. And then, as we mentioned, a number of high school games going on as well tomorrow night. Beaufort and Battery Creek girls on the road, Hampton County girls at home against Timberland and Estill, Bridge and Hardyville on the road, Colleton County boys at home, Bridges Prep boys at home, and then May River and Whale Branch boys on the road. We will be off tomorrow night. We'll be back Thursday night with the Lowco Sports Lowdown, and we will have not a lot to talk about that night except catching up on hoops. It'll be kind of we're in the lull now. We get a night off.
We got a couple. We got a special guest from Hilton Prep, I believe.
We do. We have Hilton Prep's new football coach, Doug McFadden, booked for Thursday night, and we'll try to find some other entertaining guests. We're still trying to catch up with Coach Ron Parker.
Right.
Yeah. So we'll We'll line up some fun guests. Maybe we'll get Misa Garzon on to talk a little Loco soccer and preview the season coming up on that front. But lots of fun stuff coming. Baseball, softball seasons are around the corner, as well as soccer, lacrosse, track, tennis, golf. It's all
It's
coming, and we
coming.
got it all
It's
covered
coming.
here at Loco Sports. By the way, Truman made the McCracken Middle School baseball team. So
Outstanding. Congratulations
we're
to
in for another season with the Dogs. I'll tell you what, man, it's getting competitive around here these days to make a middle school baseball team. It is not a given. There's a lot of talent coming up through the ranks in that sport. Looking forward to covering that. And our guy Butch Mullis working on some sponsors for the Loco Diamond Dudes to get us back on the air. So if you'd like to be a part of supporting the Loco Diamond Dudes and getting that show on the air for this season, let us know, and we'll give you some packages and get you involved. But that's going to do it for tonight. Thanks so much to everybody who tuned in. Thanks to Takoya Hayward for always being a willing and wonderful guest. And I hope the Bobcats can keep it rolling. Thanks to all of our sponsors who make it possible. And thanks to you for showing up to listen or watch. We'll be back Thursday night for the Lowdown, 10 o'clock. For Wes Kerr, I'm Justin Jarrett. Till next time, go Loco.